I want to reference the team meeting that has been brought up. My intent in the meeting that day was to discuss the importance of communication and being on the same page with the team. I regretted mentioning 9/11 in my message that day, and I immediately apologized to the team. Not only was 9/11 a horrific event in our country's history, but a day that I lost a good family friend. It was mentioning 9/11 in the context of the team meeting. That was the goal of the team meeting, was about the importance of communication and being on the same page as a team. What happened more than anything was one player didn't seem to, that I didn't make my point clear enough. And so right then and there I said, we're getting together as a team and we're talking, and I'm gonna address this with everyone. And that was before practice. So I leave the team meeting, and within an hour, this is a few years ago, so within an hour, and it was actually at the start of practice, I brought everybody together and said this was the goal, this was the intent, and I apologize if anyone whatsoever felt a certain type of way coming out of that meeting, right? That if anyone misinterpreted or didn't understand my message, I apologize. I didn't do a good enough job of communicating clearly the intent of my message, and that was about the importance of communication and that everyone needs to be on the same page, ironically enough. And so that was important to me then, and it still is now.
If you guys didn't understand what Sean McDermott did, even though it was a couple years ago, it happened to surface just today and yesterday. Somebody dug in and found it. So what did Sean McDermott do? Sean McDermott gave a pep talk to motivate the team and basically said, you guys should be a lot more like the 9/11 hijackers. He actually said that, and I'm gonna let you see what he actually said. This is friggin' incredible. All right, here's the instance reported on what Bills head coach Sean McDermott said. St. John Fisher College in Pittsford, New York, McDermott's morning address began innocently enough. He told the entire team they needed to come together. Let's bond, let's communicate better, let's become better players. But then he used a strange model, the terrorist of September 11th. He said he cited the hijackers as a group of people who were all able to get on the same page to orchestrate attacks to perfection. Could you imagine sitting in that room going, dude, did you seriously just say what I think I heard you just say? One by one, McDermott started asking specific players in the room questions. What tactics do you think they used to come together other than flying into buildings? A young player tried to methodically answer, what do you think their biggest obstacle was? A veteran answered TSA, which mercifully lightened the mood. And then from there, this shitstorm erupted. Sean McDermott in Buffalo, which is, as you know, in the state of New York, where the towers were in New York, has a team meeting and says, you guys need to be as good as the 9/11 terrorists. No words. I mean, maybe you can say you understand what he meant. Maybe I can say, okay, he was saying they did something with great precision and coordinating, and they got a lot of luck happened to make sure all those things all happened and came together. But come on, man. That's like people saying, you know what? And I've actually heard people say this. If it weren't for how many people he killed, Hitler was a great mastermind of strategy. I'm like, hey, man, hey, that might not be something you want to say in public. Want to not take that onto a stage and say anything about Hitler? Ixnay with the Hitler. And McDermott goes, yeah, so these 9/11 terrorists, they were awesome how they worked together and they communicated. And one guy said, you drive that plane. You drive that plane into that building. And the other guy goes, oh, I go to Pentagon. I'm sorry if I'm offending people. I'm just having fun because I cannot believe an NFL coach would say something so stupid. So insanely stupid. And then I look at the media and go, wait a minute. Wait. This happened in 2019. So it's taken 4 years for this to come out. This story here on ESPN. And it's, what's the title? Bills coach Sean McDermott apologizes for 9/11 remarks in 2019. Hey, ESPN, I'm pretty sure you guys were around in 2019. You're telling me in 4 years, almost 5 years, nobody, not a single reporter knew about this story? And now you're breaking it? It says Buffalo Bills coach Sean McDermott said Thursday he regretted mentioning 9/11 at a 2019 training camp talk with his team and he immediately apologized to his players. McDermott emphasized Thursday that he made the comments that being today to discuss the importance of communication and being on the same page. He said he regretted mentioning 9/11 in my message that day, and I immediately apologized to the team. Not only was 9/11 a horrific event, in our country's history, but a day I lost a good family friend. You should have known better, dude. Jeez. McDermott told players in a speech to model coming together in a manner similar to the terrorists of 9/11, asking players in the room questions about how the attacks were executed and referencing the hijackers getting on the same page. Multiple players who were there at the time confirmed the story to ESPN, while others who were on the team at the time told ESPN they didn't recall it. When asked why he mentioned 9/11, whether hijackers were specifically referenced as an example of a group coming together, McDermott said it was mentioning 9/11 in the context of a team meeting. Well, remember yesterday with all that stuff in the hearings from MIT, Penn, and Harvard, it's all about context. You have to understand context. The goal of the team meeting was the importance of communication and being on the same page as a team. So you don't understand my context. My context was, we're trying to get these guys in training camp to communicate, be aligned, and get on the same page. And the only reference that could come to my mind was the precision in which these guys flew planes into towers. Dude, did you really say that? Did you really think that would fly? And I guess it did. But Bills have been playing. He's been the head coach. He's had no problems. Things are going well. And almost 5 years later, 4.5, it comes out. It gets revealed. You always have to wonder why these things get revealed at this point. Understand this. The Bills are 6-6? Mm-hmm. They've already fired their offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. What do you think might happen to Sean McDermott if they don't make the playoffs? If they crap out? Is this just something to set the table? Is this something where they can go, hey, listen, Sean, it's been a few years. You haven't done well. And then you had to fire your offensive coordinator. And then you're talking about 9/11 hijackers in New York. We don't think you're the guy we need moving forward. So, sorry, you got to get out. Again, opinion. There's a reason why this story sat dormant for 4 years. It's like, put the bullets in a gun. Don't fire them until you have to. Let's begin setting the table. You're 6-6. You got big games. Basically, you have to run the table to keep your job. You got to run the table, come back here, and show us you deserve to be here. I would almost say that this is setting the table for Sean McDermott's exit. You tried to scapegoat Ken Dorsey. He made him leave. And now it's all on you, but you and your 9/11 motivational talks going to have to run the table or you're probably going to be gone. I would almost say for certain he's gone. What do you guys think? You guys think that Sean McDermott's going to have a job if they don't beat? Oh, I can tell you this. If the Dolphins stomp him, the Dolphins come back and beat the Bills pretty bad, he might not last that weekend. There'd be no reason to continue. Might as well just go ahead and get rid of him right then and there. I wouldn't keep him. Why would you keep him? You're basically over it. You're not going to make the playoffs. Let's look at something here. Let me look at. I haven't even looked at where they are. I know they're like 3 games behind the Dolphins, but let's look at something here together. All right, so this is the Buffalo Bills' remaining schedule. Their remaining schedule starting this weekend is Kansas City, Dallas. If they end up 6-8, he may not make it past that Dallas game. I'm telling you right now, they lose those 2 games. They lose Kansas City and Dallas. I think Sean McDermott's on a plane to wherever he needs to go and just get the hell out of Buffalo. If they lose these 2 games, Miami absolutely cinches the AFC East. There's no chance of him coming back. These 3 games are meaningless to him, to the Buffalo Bills and Terry Pagula, the owner. Why would you keep him? Why would you keep Sean McDermott if they're out in 2 weeks? That's what I'm thinking. Just wanted to let you know something that's going to be happening. I'm starting a new sports news show that's going to go live every single weekday night at 7 p.m. So please tune in. I'm going to be covering all the sports, everything that ESPN probably doesn't want to cover. You can find it at 7 p.m. every single weeknight. We're going to talk basketball. We're going to talk football. We're going to talk college football. We're going to talk all kinds of things. And I'd love for you to join me.